Hello, cats and kittens. Orewa Jose Yoroshiku. I'm here in the Crisis Corner, Jose's Crisis Corner, giving my later than usual review of One Piece 868. Which will be followed by the review for 869. So, this is going to be brief. The main the chapter is moving along swimmingly. We're getting to the moment of crisis in this whole plan to kill Big Mom, which I'm still a little bit, I'm not gonna say puzzled by, but I'm still a little bit I don't know what the word I'd use, but the Straw Hats' willingness to go in on an assassination attempt has me a little off. You know, it's not something that they've done before. Luffy doesn't even finish off his enemies. He hasn't killed anybody, I don't think. Not intentionally. So, but that aside, we're getting to the crux of their plan, and it doesn't look good. First, we finish off the flashback by seeing 63 years ago, that a warrior of Elbath actually saw Big Mom take out all the people at the tea party. Everyone was consumed, and he saw that, went back to Elbath, reported that to the Giants, and therefore, as it was stated, I'm looking for the actual. It says, and Charlotte Linlin grew to be repugnant by the Giants, and they refrained from even saying her name, which again has me puzzled as to how she nearly pulled off, if indeed she nearly pulled off a wedding between Lola and Loki. That I don't see how that would happen, but that's another issue for another day. So we see that the Giants are completely put off by Big Mom and her crew, or by Big Mom, period, and they want nothing to do with her. The other person who witnessed the conclusion of the tea party being somebody that I'd forgotten altogether, Struzan. He happened upon her. He actually was amused by the devouring of Mother Carmel and the other children, and decided to help Linlin out. And that was the beginning of their friendship. I guess he helped her learn how to develop her powers, and that basically saved her life. Because by his words were, if he had left her by herself, she wouldn't have survived. So he helped her become Big Mom, and they changed that was actually, I guess, Totland. It seems that she started turning the flowers and animating them and so forth, and eventually that became Whole Cake Island, I guess, or some part of Totland. Then we go back to the assassination attempt, which goes horribly wrong due to the fact that Big Mom, either through her haki or through just screaming, detonates the missiles before they reach her. And you can tell by the look on Capone's face and his henchmen that this is the worst case scenario. The missiles were ineffective. They failed. They flat out failed. They could not take her out, which at this point presents them with fight or flight scenario, and they indeed flee, because there's no point in fighting her in this particular instance. Under these circumstances, they're outnumbered, they're on top of a plateau, there's no way that they can win that particular fight. So they break out, the better part of valor. An interesting point to me is, were the rockets detonated by haki or by screaming? Because is this one scream, or is this a succession of screams? I'm not sure. But looking at the panel where they detonate, I'm thinking that's haki. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it was haki that detonated the. Well, it could go either way, But she did say flat out, "I'll never forgive the Straw Hats." So now they're marked. Capone and the Straw Hats are marked for death. Uh, Not good. So they break out. As I said, they flee. They attempt to leave out of the through the mirrors, but again, the screams crack the mirrors. The mirror that they were supposed to use to escape, and then the plan just keeps going downhill, further downhill. Now you have no egress. You're trapped on top of the plateau, and Big Mom and all of her commanders are there, and they're coming for the crew. At this point, Capone uses his big father, I can say technique or whatever. This huge castle. He turns himself into this huge castle. What is called Rook in Grosser, whatever. Translated as German for a big father. So he turns himself into this huge castle and tells everybody get inside. And that's how the chapter ends. They're ducking inside. At this point, you think they're going to try to come up with some kind of plan to escape, but they're taking shelter inside of Capone in his biggest form. Great chapter. Leaves me with a few questions, but great chapter. And this video will be quickly followed by the review of One Piece 869. So hold on for a brief second while Hold on for a brief second. I'll be right back with you. Hang loose.